Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 satirical horror film Clickbait, a film that is co-directed by Sofia Casolia and Michael J. Epstein, and it stars Colby Stewart, Brandy Aguilar, Seth Chatfield and Cedric Jonathan. Now, as mentioned, this is like a satirical comedy horror that focuses on the modern day dangers, I suppose, of social media. Now, I've recently watched and reviewed another horror film that deals with a very similar subject matter called #Follow Me. Now, I quite enjoyed that film, even though there were parts of it that frustrated me. But there were very specific reasons why that was the way it was. You weren't necessarily meant to like the characters in that film. It was just a very raw reveal of how dangerous social media can be. And this does a very similar thing, but it looks at it with very comedic eyes, I suppose you could say. And it focuses on Bailey, a fame-obsessed young lady who is on some social media platform called Striker. Essentially it's YouTube. They just can't call it YouTube, it's Striker, and she's quite popular. She's got a bit of fame on there, and she starts losing that fame ever so a little bit at a time, and it shows how shallow people can be. People stop showing interest in her because she's starting to lose a little bit of fame, so she gets more and more desperate for fame, basically. And her and her roommate have unfortunately picked up, especially Bailey, an obsessed fan who likes to creep around the place in a Michael Myers inspired mask that is clearly Donald Trump, a white mask. It's Donald Trump's face. Very clever what you did there, guys. Yes, Donald Trump, who films like stalking them and filming them, and then unfortunately Bailey is then abducted by this crazed person, and everything that happens next is all revealed on social media. Right, so that's the plot of this movie. What did I think of this film? I've got to say, this is a very, very low budget film, I will say that, and it shows in parts. Some of the performances in the film are hard to watch at times. They're low quality performances. This is the type of low budget film where there's a police officer that continually turns up, who's supposed to be a detective even though he's wearing a police officer's uniform, who basically lives outside their house because of things that are happening in a normal car. It's not a police car. So it just, it's that kind of budget. They'd have been better putting him in plain clothes and just giving him some kind of fake badge, you know what I mean? It would have looked better than him claiming he was a detective in a police uniform. And there's that sort of thing that it only really takes place in a few places, this film. It's in their apartment and a couple of other places. So it's very, very low budget, and for much of the film nothing happens. You're with these fairly unlikable characters. So her roommate Emma is quite quirky, and has a bubbly personality, and is okay. But Colby Stewart, who plays Bailey, and I know she's supposed to be playing this fame hungry person, so she's not a particularly likable character at all. So you don't feel an awful lot of sympathy for this character. You really, really don't. And I thought this was a poor attempt at trying to deliver a powerful message. I thought the #Follow Me film delivered it far more powerfully than this film. And one of the main things that let this film down was the comedy aspect of it, the humour. It just didn't work. I didn't find it funny, any of it. And to be honest, it took me 10 minutes into watching this before I realised they were trying to be funny. And it kind of just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a subject matter that you could make fun of or have a laugh with, or throw jokes at. It didn't work. The jokes that they tried to use in the film misfired for me. It wasn't funny, it wasn't humorous, so the comedy aspect of it didn't work. I would have much preferred if they'd have had a more serious approach on the subject. So I've got to say, I didn't enjoy this film. I don't think it's a disaster. There are aspects of it that, you know, are watchable for sure. And if it's, you know, if you're a social media obsessed person, there might be something here that you might take away from it. But from my perspective, I found it a huge misfire. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I didn't enjoy it at all, and I thought the comedy aspects were a bad idea for this film. It just wasn't funny at all. So that is my review for Clickbait. I hope you found it useful, and of course, thank you very much for watching.